I was working at a mattress store. I started to think to myself, I don't really want to sell mattresses for the rest of my life, but I don't really mind this whole sales thing. I think it's actually a pretty natural fit for me. So as I kind of prayed about it, there was just this thought in my mind that I couldn't get out of my head, and that was that Huntington really needed a music store.
David was our third child who came to Huntington University, and Huntington University is an exceptionally special place. When David came to campus, he really did not know what it was that he wanted to do. It was his junior year. He had an offer to go tour on the road with a band. And he approached me and he said, "Mom, I'm considering taking time off Huntington University." He said, "What do you think about that?" And I just took in a deep breath and thought about it, and I knew what I thought about it. I was trying not to blurt out a lot of things all at once. And I said, "Why don't you talk to one of your professors about that and ask them their opinion?" And so he did. He talked to Professor McGowan, and Professor McGowan had a major impact on David. Not just that time, but other times where he would pull David aside and just, give him the pep talk. Say, "David, if you're going to pursue this, you need to be all in." He toured that summer, but he did come back to Huntington University and finish out his senior year.
I think when I first had the idea, I thought I was kind of crazy. I think my wife probably thought I was kind of crazy, and I wouldn't blame her.
He had kind of just mentioned to me one night, I remember him coming home after a long day and just saying, "Man, it would be really nice to have my own business." And I'm like, "I've never heard you say anything like that." And this was a weird idea to me, but I, kind of humored him, and I said, "Well, if you had a business, what would it be?" And he's like, I think I would open a music store." And I was like, "Well, that's not a terrible idea. I mean, you're a bass player, you have interests in music and you know what you're doing. So, if you can, maybe if that's something you want to do in the long run, why don't you give it a shot?"
Just as time went on, and I thought more about it, and I prayed more about it, and I did a lot of research, market research. Spent probably about half a year planning kind of the road that it would take to do this, and once everything fell into place and I was able to open up the music store, it's been one of the biggest blessings that I've ever experienced. Once I got the financing back, that was the big leap forward. To see a bank that was willing to work with me with just my vision was just a really refreshing thing.
I think it was June 20th was when he opened his first store, and that was a crazy, crazy day because we had stayed up the whole night before trying to get price tags on everything left and right and just make sure that it kind of looked cohesive enough to say, "This is a music store."
One of the important things was actually the lesson space. I needed more space because there were more and more parents and more people just here in town that wanted to take private lessons. So learning that I just needed to kind of grow into something else, I started to kind of look for something else around the area. And it was just right around the time that I had considered finding another building, that this building had come up for sale. One of my high school instructors actually teaches here, and he was, Mr. Wenning was very instrumental in my life and in a lot of my growth in high school.
David, like the rest of his siblings, very focused, very energetic, very respectful, type of individual that I knew I was going to have a lot of fun working with. Somehow I had a feeling that music was going to be in this business passion. And in his effort to do that, he wanted to incorporate music lessons with that store. And so he came to me asking me if I wanted to be or would be a part of that process and teach piano and voice. And I thought it was quite an honor to be asked to do that.
I've known David for about 5 years. He's my brother-in-law. When I found out he was going to marry my sister, I was really excited because David just is somebody who loves the Lord, and he's somebody who's really focused. I've been really grateful to know him and really respect his his discipline and his perseverance and his focus in pursuing his passion of having his own music store.
I think being rooted in Christ is very important. I think that a lot of people find that it's almost like there's Christ and then there's like their normal life. What you need to do is you need to fuse the two together, because everything that comes from your Christianity is going to spill over into your life. If you live by strong principles that you believe in, then you don't have to second guess what you're doing in life.